She slapped my 6-year-old son at his father's funeral, in front of everyone there, and not one person stopped her. She looked directly at me and told me to leave immediately. She called my child garbage right there at his funeral. I wiped my tears and reached into my pocket. Then I made one call without saying another word. 2 hours later, those same people were begging me desperately. They hated us from the start and never even tried hiding it. We were never accepted by them, not even for one moment. I should have seen it earlier, but love truly makes you blind. Standing there at his grave, I finally understood everything clearly. The sky above us looked dark, heavy, and completely lifeless. Cold air surrounded us while people whispered in low voices. I held my son's hand tightly, afraid to let go. My mind kept dragging me back to happier days. He was laughing, smiling, alive, and sitting beside us both. Now I watched them slowly lower him into the ground forever. "Mom, why are they putting Daddy down there?" he asked softly. His small voice trembled with confusion and innocent fear. My chest felt like something inside me was collapsing completely. I knelt down and pulled him close into my arms. "Dad is resting now, baby," I whispered with difficulty. Those simple words felt like sharp glass cutting my throat. "I want to go home," he said, breaking me completely inside. We drove back in silence, heavy and painfully suffocating. The house was already filled with people watching us quietly. Every single eye turned toward us as we entered slowly. My son noticed his father's photo placed carefully on table. He walked toward it and picked it up carefully. "Dad," he whispered, and the room suddenly went silent. Then it slipped from his hands and hit the floor. Glass shattered loudly, echoing through every corner of room. "I'm sorry, I didn't mean to," he cried in fear. And then it happened, sudden, sharp, and completely cruel. The sound of the slap echoed across the silent room. His small head snapped sideways from the force of impact. The entire room froze, and no one dared move or speak. My mother-in-law stood there, her face cold and unforgiving. I rushed forward and pulled my son into my arms. His cheek was red, and my heart burned seeing it. "Why would you hit him? He's only 6 years old," I asked. She didn't hesitate or show even a single ounce of regret. "He's garbage," she said, her voice cold and completely flat. Silence filled the room as her words settled heavily around us. My sister-in-law stepped forward, arms crossed with arrogance showing, "You brought nothing but bad luck into this house," she said. "Everything started falling apart the moment you walked inside." "I trusted you," I said, struggling to hold myself together. She laughed coldly, like I meant absolutely nothing to her. "Don't ever call yourself family again," she said with contempt. My father-in-law stepped forward, silencing everyone around him. "We made a mistake bringing you into this family," he said. "You were never one of us, and never will be." Soft laughter spread through the room from people watching everything. My son held on to me tightly, trembling against my chest. "Mom, I'm sorry," he whispered, breaking my heart completely. "No, this isn't your fault," I said, holding him closer. Something inside me shifted, turning pain into something colder. It became steady, controlled, and impossible for them to break. I wiped my tears and slowly lifted my head up. "Are you done?" I asked, my voice calm and steady. They paused, clearly confused by my sudden composure and tone. "Pack your things and leave this house immediately," she snapped. I reached into my pocket and pulled out my phone. The room fell silent again as every eye focused on me. I dialed the number and waited through to quiet rings. "I need you to come," I said softly into phone. "It's time," I added before ending the call completely. They laughed quietly, thinking I had nothing left anymore. "This is embarrassing," someone muttered from across the room, but I didn't move or respond. I simply stood there waiting. Then the front door opened slowly, drawing everyone's attention instantly. 2 men walked inside, calm, serious, and completely professional looking. One of them held a file as they approached center of room. "We are here regarding Mr. Adrian's official legal will," he said. The room went silent as tension filled every inch of space. "We already know everything," my father-in-law replied confidently. "Then listen carefully," the man said, opening his file calmly. "All assets," he began, pausing briefly for effect. "All business ownership," he continued, scanning the silent room. "All accounts," he added, letting tension build around everyone. Transferred entirely, he said, pausing one final time. The entire room held its breath, waiting for his next words. To his son, he finished clearly, breaking the silence instantly. Shock spread across their faces, quickly turning into fear. "That's impossible," they shouted, their voices filled with panic. "When was this done?" she demanded, clearly losing control now. "1 month before his death," the man answered calmly. Their expressions shifted from disbelief into real, undeniable fear. My mother-in-law turned toward me, her confidence completely gone. "You knew about this?" she asked, her voice shaking slightly. "Yes, I knew everything," I replied without hesitation. "He knew what you were doing behind his back," I continued. "He knew you were taking money and betraying his trust. He knew you only cared about what he owned, and he knew what you would do to us," I said quietly. "So he made sure we would be protected," I added firmly. "He gave everything he had to his son," I finished calmly. They stepped back slowly, fear replacing their earlier arrogance. "Wait, Jessica, please. We didn't mean any of this," they said. "We can fix everything. Just give us another chance," they begged. For the first time, they looked weak, desperate, and afraid. I looked directly at the woman who slapped my child earlier. "You just slapped the owner," I said, my voice completely steady. Silence filled the room as reality finally hit them all. I held my son closer and looked around once more. Then I spoke one final sentence that ended everything completely. "Get out of my house," I said without raising my voice.